Hi, I'm Kristen, and today I'm going to tell you about my latest purchase for my sewing room. It's a Horn quilting cabinet. That's like its official name, but I'm calling it a sewing table because that's what I think it is. I'm not an affiliate. I don't get any commission if you buy one or anything like that. If that ever becomes the case in the future, I would make it super clear in the description, but for now I'm not. I did on my own online research for this and decided what I wanted to buy. And I'm going to talk to you about also the alternatives, the things I didn't buy that you might want to as an alternative, because the reasons I didn't get them might be perfectly great for you. So I'm going to show you a bit about why I bought it, what it does, and then give you those kind of alternatives basically. So I hope you enjoy it. So this feature is the main reason why I bought a sewing table at all, or why I was even looking at it, was this flatbed thing that you get with it. So the one I bought is called the Quilter's Delight, but there's plenty of other models and plenty of other brands that do this kind of inset table thing. So basically it's, let me just pull it out. It's this. It's like a Perspex, I guess, and it's cut to fit your machine. So you tell the dealer of the cabinet what your machine is, and then they cut it to fit. And then there's little slots. Where are they? Slots in here that it sits on. Okay. So I'll show you how the table's bigger than this. It folds out. I'll show you all that in a second. But this is the main thing that I wanted from the table. So one, you can get that inset, and then you can be flat here so that when you're sewing, especially quilting, you don't get like the quilt kind of tugged underneath the extender tables that they tend to come with. The Bernina one, which is what I have now, is kind of curved, and so the quilt kind of catches under it. And then even the Janome one I used to have, it would, like, the legs weren't great, it would just collapse on me. So anyway, so this is to make it easier to quilt, and also the table extensions that make it bigger do that as well. But the other thing is that this goes up and down, so there's a lift. So you push it, still getting the hang of it, and then he says the guy who delivered it showed me you sort of pull it up a bit. So this is if you want to use the free arm, so like if you're making a bag or something like that. And then you pull up and push down again, and you can push all the way down to the bottom. Let me get it to click. There we go. So now it's all the way down, away. So then what I can do is I've got this insert, and that goes on the top. So then that can be a cutting surface or whatever. So that is the main reason why I was even looking for a table other than the dining room table I'd been using before. And so far I'm loving it. So I'm finding it easier on my back. I haven't yet quilted an actual quilt on it, but I've had some smaller projects that I was quilting, like cushions and things like that. And I did find that flatbed much, much easier. So I'm going to change the camera angle and show you how it all folds out. And then I'll show you bringing the sewing machine back up again. Okay, so two of the things that fold out are kind of on this side. So I'll show you this one first. So it lifts up, and then there's a little thingy under there, and it just clicks in place. And so then there's a little extension there, which I use for my iron. And then this one lifts out, and then there's two things on the bottom here. And so then you've got this great big cutting table, and there's another extension on the other side. So I'll show you that in just a second too. Let me just angle out so you can see that. Okay, and this is the last extension, which comes out to the side of you when you're sewing, and there's like a thingy that you pull out underneath that supports it. And then underneath that there is this chest of 3 drawers. Now, can you see that? No, you cannot. Let's angle this down. There it is. So this is the chest of 3 drawers. Now, I'm a bit confused because the guy said I had to keep it under here. He said like I could have it like this or under there, but that it was kind of supporting it, but it feels like this is supporting this. So I'm not entirely clear how much I can move this around or not. But anyways, So I'm using it for like feet and bobbins and stitch plates and things like that in the top drawer. And then I've got some quilting things that I don't use quite as often in here. And then down here I've got like instruction manuals, the knee lift thing for my machine that I don't use, and my sharps box for all my spent rotary blades and needles and things like that. So I'll probably fill it with more stuff, you know me, but but that's what I've got in it for the moment. I've had this for I'm gonna say 5 or 6 days now, so I haven't quite totally filled it up yet. It does come in different colors and things like that. I went for white because as I've said in previous videos, I'm trying to make my sewing room a bit brighter, so anything white I'm bringing in. So I'll put that back for now. Right, and then I will show you, let me just move this, the opposite of what I did before. So basically take out this insert and then you can slot it in here. And the cords for your machine, I don't know if you can see that, they kind of just go around the side and out. And I think he said they could also go around the back. Yeah, there's a gap in the back. So depending on where you have my outlets are like closer to my seat than the back of my table. So I've put them this way. And then you push down and lift. Well, he didn't really lift. He said like put your hand on it to make sure that it doesn't, jump or whatever. And then I'm going to take my insert and pop it in. Oops. There we go. So, and that's it, back to the flatbed mode, which is what I'm using the most. But when I need to change a bobbin, one, I can just reach under and I can see here. So I can do it in that mode, or I can lift it up to the free arm level and change the bobbin and all that, and you oil it and all that kind of stuff. So I'm pretty happy with it. So the whole thing is on wheels, which was another thing that I liked about it, because then I can, right now I've got it pushed to the middle of the room just because it's easier to show you this way. But then I'll probably push it back to where my other sewing table was before this. And then if I'm basting a quilt, which I still do on the floor, I can like fold it all down and push it as close to the wall as it can get so that I've got more floor space for that, which was an issue when I was doing the queen size Quilt As You Go quilt, which you might have seen. I couldn't do it in this room because there wasn't enough floor space, so I had to go use my son's room. So this is going to help with that. I think I measured it, the overall dimensions of this bit, so the bit, not this bit here that's beside me, was pretty much the same as the dining room table I was using before. So this is a bit of extra here, and this is the bit that's going to make it easier for me. This and what's off kind of in my eye line there is what's going to make it easier for me to navigate a quilt around here. And keep all the weight on here and have it not drag on the floor and have it not get caught under the table and stuff. So that's the key thing for me. But it was expensive. So here in the UK, it was £995. And then I got like a voucher rebate for like almost £100 from the place I bought it from. And there were people doing all kinds of different promotions of that kind. So I'm calling it £900. But anyway, still really expensive. The alternatives that I saw, one was about £400 cheaper, very similar size, very similar setup, things you can do, but you had to build it yourself. This one, the delivery guy came in with one big box and one little box. He arrived at 8:41 in the morning and he left at 9:45, and he left some packaging behind, but otherwise he did it all himself. And he was really neat and tidy and all that kind of stuff. And I decided that although I can build IKEA shelves, I wasn't sure about building the bit that lifts and stuff. But if you are more confident with that kind of stuff, or you have someone else who can help you, that would be a great way to save money. The other option that I saw was a tape, just like a few, well, there was a few different kinds of tables, and I'll put as many links as I can in the description. But the most basic one was a smallish table, and it just had the lowered bed. So, and it didn't have, you might be able to get somebody to cut you something like this to make it really flat, but there would still have been like a gap here. So there's a chance that what you're sewing could sort of get sucked down there, kind of. The way it looked was that you had to sort of manually lift and raise it, and it wasn't even clear if it could definitely raise. So I wasn't sure about that one, but that was definitely the cheapest option. And so then if you needed extra space for your quilt, you just sort of butt other similarly heighted tables up against it and stuff. So there's definitely workarounds. The other one, alternative, would be if you've got a super handy person in your family, or you're super handy, would be to cut a hole in a table and then figure out how to rig up this sort of lifting mechanism. I'm sure you can buy the parts for that in some sort of hardware store and figure it out yourself. I don't know how to do it. So obviously I bought the one where they do it all for me. So yeah, so there are definitely alternatives, definitely cheaper alternatives in order to get the kind of flatbed thing that I was going for with this one. But I will make sure to put as many links as I can in the description. The only one that I would be an affiliate for would be the Amazon one. And that's just because I'm an Amazon affiliate in general. So if you click on any of my Amazon links and you buy something, then I get a couple of pennies to help keep running the channel. It's, you know, nothing major, but and it doesn't mean that I recommend that one any more than the ones that I link to that I'm not an affiliate for. So that's not what that means. So I will try and give you as many links and alternatives as you can. Hope you enjoyed this video and my review. I think my only con is my uncertainty about this cabinet underneath here, about whether or not I can move it, because I had sort of had in my head that I could have it on the other side of me to put things on, and now I'm not sure if that's something I can do or not, so I might need to ask the dealer or something. But so far I'm loving the rest of it, especially the flatbed. So if you've enjoyed this video, please do leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for spending time with me.